Picture this. It's 1978, and Richard Branson is stuck in Puerto Rico. His flight to the British Virgin Islands is cancelled. Frustration boils over as he watches other stranded passengers scramble for alternatives. But instead of joining the melee, an idea strikes him. Why not charter his own plane? He finds a Boeing 747, scribbles a sign that reads, "Virgin Airways $39 to the Virgin Islands," and sells the remaining seats to fellow passengers right there in the terminal. That moment, born out of frustration and a dash of impulsiveness, plants the seed for Virgin Atlantic. It teaches him a valuable lesson. Sometimes, the most brilliant ideas emerge from the most unexpected places. It also shows him the power of turning a negative experience into a positive one. The success of that makeshift flight ignites a fire in his belly. He sees an opportunity to challenge the status quo of the airline industry, an industry dominated by giants like British Airways. He envisions an airline that isn't just about getting from point A to point B, but about making the journey itself enjoyable. An airline that puts the customer first, offering exceptional service and a touch of Virgin flair. In 1984, Richard Branson's vision took flight. Virgin Atlantic Airways was born, launching its inaugural flight from London Gatwick to Newark, New Jersey. The flagship aircraft? A leased Boeing 747, a symbol of ambition and commitment to shaking things up. From the outset, Virgin Atlantic was determined to be different. They introduced innovations like individual seatback entertainment systems, a first in the industry. The focus was on creating a fun and relaxed atmosphere on board, with friendly and attentive cabin crew who treated passengers like valued guests. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Travelers embraced the fresh approach, the commitment to customer service, and the competitive pricing. Virgin Atlantic was a breath of fresh air in a stagnant industry, and their success was a testament to the power of innovation and a relentless focus on the customer experience. Virgin Atlantic's success, however, didn't sit well with everyone. British Airways, threatened by Virgin Atlantic's growing popularity, resorted to underhanded tactics to undermine their progress. This marked the beginning of what would become known as the Dirty Tricks campaign. British Airways employed a range of unethical and, as it would later be proven, illegal tactics. They spread false rumors about Virgin Atlantic's financial stability. They poached Virgin Atlantic's customers, offering them inducements to switch airlines. They even went so far as to access Virgin Atlantic's computer systems to gain confidential information. This wasn't just healthy competition, it was corporate bullying at its worst. Richard Branson was furious. Virgin Atlantic had entered the market fairly and were succeeding on their own merits. They refused to be bullied into submission. Branson's gamble, selling records for justice. Richard was determined to fight back, not just for Virgin Atlantic, but for all those who had been wronged by British Airways' unethical behavior. However, taking on a giant like British Airways in court was a daunting and expensive prospect. They needed resources, and they needed them fast. In a bold and risky move, Richard made the difficult decision to sell Virgin Records, their beloved music company. It was a heart-wrenching decision, but he knew it was necessary. The future of Virgin Atlantic was at stake, and Richard was willing to risk everything to protect it. The legal battle was long and arduous, but they were determined to see it through. They had truth on their side, and they were fighting for something bigger than themselves. They were fighting for fairness, for justice, and for the right to compete on a level playing field. Triumph and transformation, a new era for air travel. In the end, justice prevailed. Virgin Atlantic won the lawsuit against British Airways, exposing their dirty tricks to the world. The court found in favor of Virgin Atlantic, awarding substantial damages and forcing British Airways to issue a public apology. The victory was not just a win for Virgin Atlantic, it was a victory for competition and for consumers. It sent a clear message that even the biggest corporations are not above the law and that unethical behavior will not be tolerated. More importantly, it cemented Virgin Atlantic's place in the airline industry. Virgin Atlantic had taken on the giant and emerged victorious, proving that David can indeed slay Goliath. Their story became an inspiration to entrepreneurs around the world, demonstrating the power of challenging the status quo and fighting for what you believe in. The Branson way: audacity, innovation, and a touch of rebellion. Looking back, the battle with British Airways was a defining moment for Richard Branson and for Virgin Atlantic. It taught him the importance of standing up for what's right, even when the odds were stacked against him. It also reinforced his belief in the power of innovation, customer focus, and a healthy dose of irreverence. At Virgin, they have never been afraid to challenge convention, to push boundaries, and to have a little fun along the way. They believe in doing business differently, with a focus on people, purpose, and of course, profit. That's the Branson way. It's about having the audacity to dream big, the courage to take risks, and the resilience to bounce back from setbacks. It's about making a difference in the world while having a blast doing it. If viewers enjoyed this glimpse into the entrepreneurial edge, they should give a like and subscribe for more inspiring stories of business battles, bold visions, and unconventional triumphs.